He's like this tall, freaking soft-spoken, very wise man.
Well, winter spit its final few squalls, and the boys and I shared a last night under the glow of Depot Street before Noah left town. Things would be different without him and Kaylee around, and as I reminisced on the summer he showed up here, it was hard to believe it had been 3 years. And it was thanks to my brother Simon that we ever linked up, and that he ever moved to Dalton and heard the waterfall and saw the snowflakes and the street lamps, and helped me on countless projects and eventually changed the way I look at filmmaking. 3 years flew by like the midnight train. And while that office that looked over the old factory was now vacant, the stories remained. And with every ending comes fresh opportunities. Just before he left, Noah asked if I would film a concert with him at Mass Mocha for an up-and-coming artist. And I said, of course. And when the day finally came, I was excited to do my best work for him. You know, it's funny, when we first started working together, I felt like I was teaching Noah everything I knew. And now, I'm always looking to him for advice. So the artist was Dion Jones, and he sings from the soul and has a real story to tell. And after the show, he invited us to an after party at the local joint, and we darted through the brown, rainy night to the shelter of Old Brick, New England. And when Dion made a speech and thanked a bunch of people for helping him on his journey, Noah was one of them. Soon after, it was officially mud and stick season, and Allie and I showed up at the Little Red House one Sunday morning for our favorite family pastime, the Sugar Shack breakfast.
We're here. We're lucky enough to have some, you know?
Yeah.
But we got about, I think it's like 12 or 1,300 taps.
Is it still running right now?
Well, it runs more to, it's gonna freeze at night.
Look at this guy.
I don't want to. That's a great easy. I've never broken one in my whole life.
And after breakfast, we went to the cabin for the first time since the snow melted. We saw signs of new life already popping up. And we looked at the endless work ahead of us with big grins, as this was going to be a transformative year.
Oh yeah, I forgot we brought that new blanket that I got.
I can't believe I went in the river.
And we continued moving things from the office to the apartment, which was bittersweet, but part of a much bigger plan that would create a more sustainable lifestyle. And then I visited my grandmother on her 105th birthday. And Allie started planting seeds for our summer garden, and we had Noah and Kaylee over for dinner to show them the new apartment and hear their most up-to-date plans on their next move.
I love like the speed at which it goes.
And after a final ice over, it was time to get the old snowmobiles out of Jack's yard. So Allie and I picked them up one morning while on our way to a big shoot at one of my favorite places, Fogbuster Coffee Works. And we dropped them off at the cabin and then got to work filming the final B-roll for some website videos, and also got things rolling on some new products we're going to be launching together, as well as some new coffee blends. And by the way, today's the last day to get my winter blends cozy up and hunker down before they're gone for the season. And the direct link to my coffee will always be in the video description. It always feels good to create for a brand you care about and believe in, and I'm excited for you to see the new videos I made for Fogbuster. And as March rolled on, a new energy flowed through the open windows. And every day felt fresh and unique, a feeling that comes on strong every spring. The spring sunshine opens up the inspiration vents, and the inflow turns the gears and a spark ignites. And as nature would have it, your soul comes back to life and perks right up, and suddenly you realize there's a whole year of opportunity ahead of you. And on another squall-filled Sugar Shack Sunday, I made an effort to do something I hadn't done in many weeks: meet up with my best friends. We all get busy and tunnel-visioned and unintentionally go for longer than we mean to without connecting. But only a best friend knows that's nothing personal.
This tall, freaking, soft-spoken, very wise man.
I like how your cell phone's got 3 eyeballs. I've never done that. So whatever. No.
And I baked up a storm this March, trying all different types of loaves and seed mixtures, and made it a goal to keep fresh bread on the table for Allie and I, as we'd been working out more than ever and needed to keep the carbs on deck.
Bad mom.
And our newly designed apartment had changed the whole flow of our life for the better, making even the simplest working days a total joy. one eve, Mason and I got together for our first dinner in a long time.
Can't do it as well. Just won't get that crisp.
And he made fried chicken and mashed potatoes from scratch, and I never tasted it at this caliber anywhere else before.
512. And on the it's like a hip at the back, gable end at the front, 612.
And I started seeing signs like the freshly thawed river twinkling in the morning sun. A simple spring sight that could make your whole day with the right mindset.
Story of my grandma Bonnie.
Really? This is actually a serious swimming spot. No
What
way.
river is this?
And with Mowgli's help, I finished up all my client work that had been hanging over my head, and I was feeling fresh and renewed, and ready to take on this year and all its projects with open arms. One day in early April, I wandered down to the river to take some film photos and observe nature's rhythm. To my surprise, there was a good amount of insects fluttering in the evening light. And though there were all different kinds, I saw a few tiny mayflies for sure. About the new reel my dad had got me for Christmas, and how I was dead set on spending more time on the water this year. And when I asked my dad what kind of mayfly it would have been, he said most likely blue-winged olives, as that was the only thing he could think of that would hatch this early in the spring. And spring it was, and mayflies weren't the only things that were hatching. The signs were popping up everywhere, and these hills were about to come alive.